Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 124 of a year of change. Today, I'm going to bring in another study that was done. There's been a couple of little news articles here and there throughout the week, but nothing that's really sort of standing out. But they did do, this study did come out as well. But I've sort of been flip-flopping and humming and hawing and debating whether or not to actually bring this forward. Because to me, the study doesn't really provide any information. It's a little weird. I'll explain. This was a study done by King's College in the UK, and they took about 250,000 people and just went through their medical records for 10 years, from 2004 to 2014. And they divided up into people that were either overweight or obese or morbidly obese or super obese and just kept going that way, and measured their weight loss over a 10-year period. Now, this was part of a larger study that was investigating the effectiveness of bariatric surgery, so they excluded anyone that had had bariatric surgery, regardless as to the type that they had. So these were just people that were overweight or higher, that, just over 10 years to measure weight loss progress and things like that. So what they found, and this is why I say this wasn't really, there's really no new information here. It's still information, so I suppose, any information is good information, but it's not really surprising. What they found is that out of the 250,000 people, short story is, it's very hard to lose weight. That's really the crux of the matter. The main focus of the study was, the result was, it's really hard to lose weight. What they found is that for overweight people, they were looking at like 1,200, 1,300 people that had lost weight and gotten down to a normal weight. Then they moved up to obese people, and the numbers got smaller. And then morbidly obese people, and the numbers got smaller again. Super obese people, and the numbers got smaller again. So the fatter you get, the harder it is to lose the weight, to get down to a normal weight. That was essentially the study. Which I know it's weird because trying to figure out, is there new information there? Is there something that they're trying to point out? Or is this simply just, some actual hard evidence and saying, no, it's not just us. It's very difficult. Here's why. The problem is that there are a number of things that are missing from it. These are just going through patient records. And through a lot of them, they will have something saying that the doctor has recommended the patient, lower their caloric intake. They start exercising, whatever the recommendations that the doctors are doing. But there's no data there that says, this is what the people are actually doing. We have no way of knowing if they actually participated in it, if they started exercising, if they changed jobs. There's a lot of information that's just not there. So in the end, they concluded that the current method of saying, well, you need to exercise more and eat properly isn't working. That was their conclusion, which to me is fairly flawed because you can say, granted, when you're looking at the numbers, you can say, obviously, what we're doing right now is not working. Their suggestion was to actually put more effort into preventing obesity rather than curing it. Because if, maintaining that weight isn't the difficult part, it's actually, once you're fat, and just trying to lose the weight is going to be difficult. But it doesn't say whether the patients actually participated in anything that the doctors recommended for them. Doctors may have said, okay, well, you need to start moving more when you're just at home, when you're at your job, whatever you're doing, you need to start getting some more exercise. You need to stop eating the cakes and the cookies and the chips and the cheesies and all the snacks and junk food that you're eating. You need to cut back on your portions and eat a normal amount of food. It doesn't say whether or not those patients actually did that. And you know as well as I do that if you've gone to your doctor, they've probably said that a million times. You're like, okay, yeah, I know what I need to do. We obviously don't do it. Now, there are some numbers that they say were encouraging. Well, not encouraging, but better. There was a large number, about 10% of the people actually lost 5% of their body weight over this 10-year period. But they found that there's about a third of the people in the study, about 1/3 of the people of the population of the sample, I should say. There we go. Did yo-yo back and forth. They gained it, they lost it, they gained it again, and year by year, although some people would lose it within 5 years, many of them gained it back. So this is all information that we already have, that we've already experienced, that we know these things. We know that when we diet, yes, we'll lose the weight. But because we go back to our old eating habits, then of course, yes, we gain it right back again. Because it's been known for a very, very long time, and yet we still, for some reason, seem to go after them, that the diets don't work because it's a short-term solution. We can say, I'm going to go on a diet and I'm going to lose 20 pounds. So good. You change how you eat. You start eating healthier. You're eating more salads and fruits and vegetables. You're cutting out snacks and sugar and everything else. You're exercising more and you lose weight. You're like, well, that was done. I worked really hard. I lost my weight. So the exercise stops. And you slowly start creeping in more snacks because you think, no, I'm a better weight now. I can afford to eat this more. So, and then we just eventually go back to our old eating habits, and then we look in the mirror and we go, I've gained 30 back from the 20 that I lost. So, this is why this has been sort of one of those things that I didn't really know how to present this information in a positive light, because there's a lot of missing information, and the information that is there, we all kind of go, duh, no shit. We know all this stuff. We know that the fatter we get, the harder it is to lose the weight. We know that we can lose a certain amount of weight. There was like 10% of people lost 5% of their body weight. So if it's a 300-pound person, that's 15 pounds. We know we can get to that point. We've done it many, many times. The problem is getting to a point where we're maintaining it and where we're consistently losing it. Now, over the past 4 months, we still haven't really gone into a diet mode. And I don't think we ever are going to need to. The way things have been working, that hopefully have been successful for you as well, is that we're just changing the amount that we're eating and like little things here and there. We're cutting back a little bit on the junk food. We're replacing it with healthier snacks. We're looking more at getting away from just mindless eating. Little things like that. Not necessarily saying, well, okay, we're going to cut out this, this, and this, and now you're going to start running 10 miles a day. We're moving more, we're eating less, we're eating better, but we haven't really cut out anything yet. I mean, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to be cutting out, starting with sodium, and then I'm probably going to move to sugar next. I should really be doing sugar first, but for me, the salt, I think, is the main thing that is concerned for me. But in getting prepared for all this stuff, there's a lot of really bad information or good information about how bad sugar is. So we'll get to that in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, stay on target. So this isn't any information that's brand new to us. Now, as they conclude in the study, as I said, that they're looking at it and saying this isn't working. The current trend, or the current trend, I suppose, is proper. The current thought process of saying, okay, well, what the doctors are saying right now, this isn't working. And when you look at the numbers, yeah, they're right. But it doesn't say whether or not people actually did it. And that's where the problem lies. Is that, I'm restarting because I went off topic and I got all distracted by sugar. So, sorry, we're going to skip ahead. And so I'm not going to repeat myself all over again. Getting back to what we've been doing over the past 4 months. There we go. The changes that we've been making, like I say, it's still not a diet. Because it's not going to be a short-term thing. We know if you were to stop this right now at this stage and say, you know what, I've lost the weight that I need. Maybe you only had like 15, 20 pounds to lose when you first started this. And you think these little changes have helped. I've lost the weight. Things are good. If you go back to your eating habits, those gradually, slowly but surely, those pounds are going to come back on. Same thing with me. I've said it before. It's going to be very, very easy for me to slip right back into my old eating habits. Because even now, there are times that I still... It's better now. I'm a much better judge as to how much I'm eating. But every now and then, it's happened where I just think, I know I shouldn't have eaten that. I ate way too much. And normally it would have been I would have been fine. I would have been overeating, but I wouldn't feel overly stuffed. And it's happened a couple of times in the past 3 or 4 months where I've had a meal, not really thinking, and then I find I'm really overstuffed. Because that's not my portion size anymore. It's not a drastic difference, but it's enough. And then when you look at it and think, yeah, I probably shouldn't have had 18 bowls of that. So, I mean, I see where it's coming from. Anyway, I've gone way off topic now. Everything was really, really nice and smooth. Things were going well. And then I got distracted by sugar for some reason. And now we're all over the place. So we'll get back to the study. I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can actually go to the study. It's on the Journal or American Journal of Public Health is where they put it, and they left it open so that anyone can go in and take a look at it. It's just a PDF file, and it's very short. It's like 4 or 5 pages. It'll have graphs on there. It'll have numbers. It'll have all sorts of fancy, sciencey things on there. So you can go in, you can take a look at each group, find out which group category you're in, and things like that. The only thing is, I don't want this to be something that you're going to look at and get discouraged with and say, well, shit, 1 in 1,200 people, in my category lose weight. Or actually less than that, because in my category anyway, it's something like 400 people out of the 200,000. Actually, I have the numbers. No, sorry. In my group, 216 people, because I'm now classified as morbidly. Awesome. Sounds so bad. But 416 men 216 men, 412 women that were morbidly obese got down to a normal body weight. So almost twice as many women. I wonder if that's a willpower thing. Because actually, when I'm looking at the numbers now, I'm looking at my cheat sheet, it's always more women than men that lose the weight. So there's some good information there. At least there's something. Sorry, guys. we don't have it. For overweight, there were almost 1,000 more women. So 1,200 men, 2,200 women. For obese, 1,300 men, 2,200 women. So again, almost 1,000 more. For morbidly obese, 216 men, 412 women. These all got down to a normal body weight. Not just that they lost, they've gone down into another category. They've actually lost the weight. Overall, 5% of body weight, 23,000 men, 27,000 women. So more women are losing weight than men. Interesting. I don't know if that's actually... No, I don't know how many were men, how many were women. So that might be it. But the ratio is... I don't have the ratios. But I can put a link down there. You'll be able to find the ratios to it as well. So at least there's some new information there that it seems that more women lose weight than men. I don't know if that's because there were more women in the study or if there were, if it's just a matter of trying to keep it relatively equal. It'd be nice to see the ratio. I do know that with the losing 5% of the body weight, that it was 1 in 12 men and 1 in 10 women. So, yeah, women have a better time of it. I don't know if that's because you just stick with it longer, or maybe it's because we have more. Actually, you know what? That would be an interesting thing as well, because we did talk about fat shaming a long time ago, and that negative body image, and maybe that's just stronger because women are sort of more scrutinized that way. Fat men aren't really ridiculed the same way. Anyway, it's getting off on a different topic altogether, which I'm not going to get into because then we'll go way, way over. Anyway. So yes, you can go up, you can take a look at the study. It'll give you a brief summary of what they did and the different numbers and things like that. I don't really agree with them saying that, well, the current idea isn't working. The current model, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for. The current model of weight loss isn't working. And when you look at the numbers, you do agree with them. I may have said this already. You do sort of have to agree with them because the doctors are saying you need to do this. And it's obviously the weight isn't coming off. But it doesn't take into account whether or not people are actually participating in that. So I think that the bariatric surgery, it does put you in a position where you don't really have a choice. You need to exercise more. You need to cut back on these things because if you eat the same way that you ate before, you're going to just be sick all the time. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to throw up everywhere. And you simply can't do it. And so that might be part of it, is that it's getting to a point where you want to do it as opposed to where you can't do it. So, or no. You know what I mean? Where you are forcing yourself to not do it as opposed to you are in a position where you can't do it. There we go. That makes more sense. I'm all over the place today. I'm very sorry. So this is the reason why I was really hesitant and didn't know whether or not to put the information out there and to put the study through, because I guess part of it is that discussion of, like, this is not new information. This is information we all know. Maybe thin people haven't known this, but we do. We know how hard it is to lose the weight. We know how hard, like the more that we gain, the harder it's going to be. And a lot of it is a matter of willpower and just being able to stick to a plan and things like that, and avoiding that temptation, which we discussed earlier on is more akin to an addiction than anything else. Just getting around that, and we know all this information. This is nothing new that's presented to us. But the numbers are there so that at least people can look at it and say, well, when 80 to 90% of the population that is in this position, when they aren't losing the weight, it's not a matter that 90% of us just simply are refusing to. We've tried time and time again, and we've failed time and time again. Hopefully this is working well for you, and that you are having some success, but I think it's more of a matter of just constantly maintaining that outlook and looking at things and saying, I'm not using the words I need to use. So it's just where it's an ongoing process, I think is probably the best way to look at it. That when I'm looking at this, I'm not thinking that there's an end in sight. I know that we're doing this for a year, but after that year, this is going to continue on. I'm not going to be able to stop and say, there, now I can go out and eat whatever I want, because I'll balloon right back up again. I know I will. This is something that at the end of this year, I'm hoping that we're going to be at a position where it's not going to be as difficult to maintain the way that we are right now. We aren't going to have that daily fight and say, no, I think I'll make a different decision. I'll eat this instead of that, and that you're not going to be thinking about food 24 hours a day. And it is better now for me than it was 6 months ago before I started this. And I'm finding it a little easier to stay on track. A lot of this, though, is because of you guys. Like, just knowing that I'm accountable out there, and that whether it's 5 people or 500 people that are watching, knowing that I have to maintain this and keep going day by day and saying, all right, no, I can't just stop recording, or I can't go over. I don't want to go over my calories, because there are going to be people that are going to be able to go back and see this. Obviously, not eating super healthy. This week, I bought sausages at the beginning of the week, and my sodium is like through the roof. So this is I don't want to say my big last hurrah, but so I'm still not eating organic and just nonstop health foods and things like that, because I don't ever want to get to that point. But I still haven't gone over, and there are days when I look at it and think, I really, really want to. I just want to have those days where I just do nothing and pig out and say to hell with it. But having that accountability and knowing that I've got to come back and talk to you guys and say, I did something bad, does keep me on track. Because all it's going to take is for me to do it for one day, and then say, oh, well, it's just one day, it's fine. And then that will sneak into another day, 2 months down the road. And then it'll happen again a month down the road. And then it'll happen 2 weeks down the road. And so I really want to avoid that. I want to sort of stay on target. Plus, I sort of lead by example is what I'm trying to do here as well. That if you're coming here and everything's working well for you, and then it's 2 or 3 times that I'm saying, oh, I went over because of this. Well, I went over because of this. And then I went over because I was tired. And I didn't really have time to go over here. So I had to go to McDonald's. All that stuff, it's going to lose that momentum. And, it's going to affect other people. We know that it's a little easier to sort of get into that groove when you're working with another person, whether it's to lose weight or just even if it is a little short diet, things like that. It's easier to have that support system. And it's not going to do us very much good if the support system is there, but we aren't actually following through on anything. So this topic is changing. I'm sorry. I don't mean for it to say, okay, well, now we've done the little subject thing. Now we're going to talk about this other thing. We should really stick to one topic per video. Make things easier. And plus, now I've gone over. I'm over 15 minutes. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we're going to summarize. I will put the study down below. It's just to the journal. I'll put up the sort of, it's not really, well, it's the news story that actually led me to it. I'll put that up there as well, just so you can get a quick overview. If you want to, you can go and you can download the PDF just to look at it. Again, it's not going to give you any real new information. It's just interesting Any information is good information, whether it's positive or negative, I suppose. It's just that you have that. But again, I don't want it to be discouraging where you can look at it and say, well, look at these numbers. I'm never going to lose the weight. We have been. We've been progressing. We are making steps, and there has been a change. And I know that every couple of weeks I go through this and say, no, don't worry, we are actually making a difference. But hey, don't worry, we are actually making a difference. You're following through. You've been doing this for 4 months. You probably have seen some progress. One way or the other, you're noticing something, whether it's actual weight loss, or whether your clothes are starting to fit a little differently, or whether you feel better, whether you're not as out of breath if you go up a flight of stairs. Whatever it is, there is some change in there. If you've been following through this stuff, one way or the other, there has been some benefit. So we just need to keep on going and keep on maintaining and keeping on. Lost my momentum there. And now it's just not inspiring anymore. She has like some really dramatic music swelling in the background, and then end with something really, really important to say as you go, yes, that's my catchphrase, like in a movie, and just salute or something. But I've got nothing. So that's pretty much it. So we'll leave with this music. There we go. We'll lead with this. And we'll keep this sort of on the way out, and this will be our theme music from now on. Which has been since day one, but still, this will be the theme music for my speech. And then we'll just pretend I said something really deep and awe-inspiring, and it'll be great. So, that's it for this video. So go and take a look, see what you like, see the information. I'm ending this badly, so I'm just going to end it. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. In the meantime, though, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.